Detective Comics 1049 brings us part 3 of Mariko Tamaki's The Tower. It sees the Bat Crew kind of infiltrating the tower once more, trying to get deeper, trying to figure things out. The focus here is primarily on Helena, Huntress, and also Batwoman, who goes undercover as this Dr. Frau. And the whole team is kind of getting to grips with what's going on, trying to figure out what's going on, and they realise that, well, the Party Crashers, this gang called the Party Crashers, seem to be quite heavy with regards to the personnel within the tower. So they're thinking there's a drugs thing going on. This is all about drugs, a drug trade. They just can't quite figure out what all the pieces are and how they link together. We get a little bit more here with regards to Siphon. So we only saw Siphon really in the first 2 parts of this story. Here we get a bit more background on him. It's quite generic really. So Batwoman sees him kind of doing these arts and crafts and has a bit of a flashback. I'd have liked more there just to kind of build up who this character is. But he's essentially a generic serial killer. He could just as easily be Zsasz, to be honest. In fact, they could have used Zsasz. I think Zsasz would have been a better choice, to be perfectly honest. I also think that Anna Vulshan, I didn't make the connection until reading this one, to be honest. That's who Anna Vulshan kind of reminds me of. She's like a female version of Zsasz. I think the two of them would make a great couple. If you put Zsasz and Anna Vulshan together, they would make like the Bonnie and Clyde of serial killers. So, an enticing prospect on the page, but certainly nothing you'd want to know about in real life, obviously. But Anna Vulshan in this, I like the look of her with the scarring down the face, and I hope we're going to get a bit more on these guys. I know they're not really. It's not about them, so I have to kind of get over that hump of not having, big named Batman Rogues Gallery members in here. It's kind of filled out with these people we don't know anything about. If we learn more about them over the course of this story, then I'll be happy. If not, then it's a bit of a downer, but it's not the worst thing in the world, because, as I say, the story it's not about them. It's about our team of heroes trying to cope with this big situation, this tower, this Arkham Tower, and everything that's going on, without Batman there to kind of back them up or lead them, I should say. So yeah, that's the interplay that is quite interesting. Seeing how this group of people are going to deal with this situation. Like, for example, with Nightwing right now, he just wants to get Helena out there. Just get her the hell out of there, whatever it takes. She's in a dangerous place. She's clearly not right in the head. But she doesn't want to go. Helena does not want to go. So is that her own decision? Is it under her own volition that she wants to stay there? Or is some other force keeping her there? That's the intrigue, the question that is raised from the issue. Again, as with the first 2 parts, I'm really enjoying this. It moves a bit too quick, if anything. It's one of those stories where each part comes, you read it, and then you're like, oh, damn it, it's over, and I want to know the next part. So in that regard, I think Tamaki's doing an excellent job, just keeping that ball rolling, keeping the pace moving, and keeping my interest in this story as to where it's going to go. And given the fact that we kind of know where it's going to go already, because we've had those flash forwards and stuff, we know that this is all going to go belly up, and it's the interesting thing is seeing, well, how do we get to point B? We've seen where point B is. how we're going to get there and what casualties we're going to have along the way. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's got to be said. Looking forward to part 4. This video is brought to you by Wow Comics. Visit wowcomics.com today and order your comic books online and use this code down at the bottom of the screen, WowBry1, when you place your order, and you will get 15% off. I've teamed up with Wow Comics to bring you this video and others like it because they are a company I trust. I buy my comic books from them, so I suggest you do the same. As I say, use the code WowBry1 at wowcomics.com and get 15% off your order. The B story in this issue of Detective Comics is the 3rd part of the House of Gotham storyline. Another one that I am really enjoying. Loving to see where it goes. I'm particularly loving this aspect of it being set, it must be about at least 10, maybe 15 years ago. So yeah, in this one we pick up where we left off before with the young boy, the central figure of this story, being in one of Bruce Wayne's orphanages and seemingly adopted by Bruce. I mean, clearly it's his orphanage, so in that respect he has adopted him. But the other boys at this orphanage kind of treat him like he's Bruce's special one, but not so special. Basically Bruce has guilt. Having seen this boy, having seen what he went through, seen what he's lost at the hands of the Joker, that he failed to stop from killing this boy's parents, he's obviously racked with guilt, and he's doing that thing that a lot of people do, and that seemingly he's not immune to, which is buying gifts for someone in order to kind of. This is as much a story, I think, from the look of it, of Batman's failings as a father, even though he's not this kid's father, and in any true sense he doesn't have any kind of father-like responsibility to him, but he's taken that upon himself, and he's not doing a particularly great job of it. So this kid's feeling even more alone, even more outcast, which sets him up to look to the Scarecrow of all people as a father figure. So we get Jonathan Crane here working as a doctor in this orphanage, and he's up to no good, obviously. This is kind of before, I think. This is obviously because he's working. This is pre Scarecrow being found out. It's pre Jonathan Crane being recognized as the Scarecrow. So this is Jonathan Crane up to his experimental tricks before being found out as the Scarecrow. And it's so again, seeing him kind of step in as this weird father figure who clearly doesn't care about the surrogate involved. He just wants something out of him. He just wants to use him, just wants to use these kids at the orphanage. It's just, yeah, the whole thing is really a treatise on bad fatherhood. Everywhere that this boy turns, he's got bad fathers. Even his own father, who died at the hands of the Joker, only did so because he got involved with the Joker. So he was clearly up to no good. So this kid, he does not have a great track record with dads, whether they be his blood-related father or these strange surrogate fathers that seem to be coming into his life. So it just makes you feel for him, to be honest. And I kind of want him to have a happy ending. I hope he has a happy ending and doesn't end up becoming a villain. But if he does become a villain, it's going to be one that's I think going to have quite a lot of impact, a lot of power, because of all of this backstory we're getting for him. I'm really intrigued as to just exactly where it is Matthew Rosenberg is heading with this character, with this story. So yeah, I'm going to give The Tower Part 3 a 4 out of 5. I'm tempted to go higher, to be honest, and I am going to give House of Gotham Part 3 also a 4 out of 5. Really enjoying Detective Comics at the moment.